Hi guys! I'm sure at a certain point in your life you guys have probably experienced either a bad haircut or you want to chase after some sort of trend and you want to grow your hair out really fast. Regardless if you have short or long hair, it's always good to know what to eat and how to take care of your hair so it can grow faster. So first, let's talk about hair. On average, our hair grows about ½ an inch a month. Your well-being, your health, and genetics play a big fact on how fast your hair grows. Everyone will grow their hair, whether it's curly, long, short, straight. Everyone grows at a pace. Some might be faster, some might be slower. Some might have fewer hair, some might have a lot of hair. We also lose about 100 strands per day. So just because you're losing hair doesn't mean that you're not growing hair. So each hair pretty much has a life cycle. So it will stay in your head for about 90% and then the 10% of it actually falls off and the new hair is born. You're pretty much going to constantly lose hair and grow hair at a certain rate. There are a few myths that I would like to clear out for you guys. First of all, people are going to tell you that the more often you cut your hair, the faster your hair will grow. It's actually incorrect. What it is that when you do cut your hair, it takes the same amount of time for it to grow out. However, if you trim the split ends, it will actually lessen the breakage and therefore allow your hair to be more shiny and healthy, and it can grow a lot longer. But it doesn't actually increases or decreases the rate that your hair grows. Another myth that I also like to clear out is that people tend to think that the amount of hair that you have is linked with how fast your hair grows. It actually has nothing to do with the rate of your hair growth. Some people who have really fine, thin hair could grow their hair a lot faster than someone who has a lot of hair and is quite thick and coarse. It actually has no indication of what type of hair it is as well. Number 1, eggs. Eggs have a rich source of protein, which is essential in not only just hair growth but overall general health. Our body will break down the proteins we eat into amino acids, and these amino acids aid in the process of blood cell replacement. Basically, our muscle, hair, nails, skin, and eyes are all made from protein. Number 2, sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes contain beta-carotene, which our body converts to vitamin A, something every cell in our body needs. It also aids in the production of natural oils in our scalp, which is very important in hair growth. Number 3, avocados. Avocados are the best source of natural fatty acids, which our body needs to enhance the rate of our hair growth. If you don't like eating them, you can always turn them into hair masks. You can watch a video on how I made my avocado hair mask at home. Number 4, blueberries. Blueberries contain a ton of vitamin C, which is what our hair needs to provide blood circulation into the tiny vessels that feed the hair follicle. Vitamin C will also make our hair a lot stronger too. Number 5, spinach. Spinach is a superfood that contains vitamin B, C, and E, and a bunch of other good stuff that prevents hair loss by enabling blood cells to carry more oxygen to the hair follicles. Number 6, walnuts. As I have mentioned numerous times before, it contains omega-3 fatty acids, iron, and biotin, which makes our hair grow faster, thicker, and longer. It also protects the cells of our hair from the sun as well. I also want to share with you some tips that you can keep in mind that can also help your hair grow faster, but more fuller as well. So number 1, always brush your hair from the ends to the roots. So never start from the root to the ends, especially if you have long hair, because when you're brushing all the way through, you might cause break and tear and actually pull out a lot of the hair that you have, as opposed to just combing through the knots and making sure you get rid of all the knots before you comb from the root to the ends. Number 2, at the end of the shower, make sure you rinse your hair with cold water as opposed to hot. So it has been proven that cold temperature water is going to be more beneficial for your hair. It's going to close and seal off all the cuticles in the hair, therefore allowing your hair to be less dry and damaged and cause less split ends. Hence, your hair will grow a lot longer and a lot faster. You should definitely swap your cotton pillowcases for your silk pillowcases. Silk has been proven to be beneficial for both your skin and hair as well. Number 4 is using castor oil, and you mix a bit with either coconut oil, olive oil, or almond oil. You can massage your scalp for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then you can proceed with your usual shampoo and conditioner routine. So most of us have our hair falling down this way because of the gravity on the earth. Our hair will fall downwards. So once in a while you should definitely flip your hair backwards, and that way it actually stimulates the root where it's sitting. So for example, if your hair has been sitting in a direction for a very long time, it's not going to have much blood circulation. If you flip it towards the other side and you're actually stimulating the hair, you're causing it to be a bit more active, therefore your hair growth can be stimulated as well. I also sometimes like to do is flip my hair upside down while I massage and then brush backwards, as in like brush from the back of my head to the end. And I find that actually not only helps to stimulate the scalp, but you're actually allowing all the blood to rush to your head for a little bit. So don't do it for more than 4 minutes. Stress can be a very big cause on hair loss, but as well as the growth of your hair. So try to find ways to relax and unwind. Try and think about happy thoughts or meditate to clear your mind. Another thing that I also like to do once in a while, and I've mentioned this before in my previous video, is you can either rinse your hair out with vinegar or tea. If you don't like the smell of vinegar, you can use tea. All it does is basically rinse out the air pollutants, any product residue, the dirt, the grime. So you don't have to do this all the time. It can be once a week or once a month. But I like to do that especially if you wear a lot of hair products, for example, hairspray, hair gel, hair wax, any type of product, whether it's oily, whether it's moisturizing. There can be a build-up of residue, a coating on top of your hair. So sometimes it's nice to just sort of cleanse all that off and let your hair breathe and refresh. So of course there are also some things that you should avoid. Besides the obvious of poor diet and stress, you should also avoid things like drugs and alcohol. Try to stay under the sun, so wear a hat if you're going to go out in the sun for long periods of time. UV rays do tend to damage the hair and dry it out, but it doesn't necessarily slow down the growth. But when your hair is not healthy, it can grow at a slower pace than it usually is. Avoid swimming in salt or chlorine water. If you do it once in a while, it's fine, but if you are doing it every day, it can hinder the rate of the growth. Avoid bleaching, perming, straightening, hair extensions, any type of chemicals on your hair, because that can also affect the growth of the hair. Any type of chemicals that is foreign to the hair, it's making your hair do things that it's not supposed to do. So if you were naturally curly, now you're making your hair to go straight, so it's actually causing some sort of change in your hair, hence why it's also going to be causing damage, especially bleaching, because bleaching is when it's stripping a lot from your hair. It's causing your hair to be quite raw and tender. It's causing your hair to be quite sensitive, and also it can affect the amount of hair that you have as well. So avoid wrapping your hair in a towel, especially after you washed it, or those really sort of contorting hairstyles where you pull your hair back really tight. Those can also cause strain on your hair, and it can cause breakage and snaps. This also applies to brushing your hair when it's wet. So when your hair is wet, you probably notice that it's a lot more stringier than usual. So usually your hair is at a bouncy rate, but when your hair is actually wet, it's super stretchy, almost like rubber, and therefore it's more prone to snapping and breaking. Therefore, it's advised to never ever try to brush your hair when it's wet. Only brush your hair when it's semi-wet, or like semi-dry I should say. Run your fingers through your hair as you blow dry, but definitely try and avoid brushing the hair at all times when it's wet. A lot of times when you're blow drying your hair, make sure that you are about 30 centimeters away, so not too close to the scalp. So the health of your scalp is also very important in terms of the health of your hair, but also at the rate it grows. Once in a while, maybe try to allow your hair to dry naturally, but avoid doing this in winter because you don't want to catch a cold. So for men who are wanting to increase hair growth, but also the rate of their hair growing, as well as preventing white hair, this is something that you can do. What you do is you rub your hands together, make sure it's nice and warm, and then you actually use your fingers, start from the front to the back, and you do this about 50 times. Every night before you go to bed. So the warmth of your fingertips will massage the scalp, but it's also massaging the pressure points in your head as well. So for girls, you can use brushes or combs, anything that's not too hard, not too soft. Avoid plastic because they can give you static. So I'm gonna use my brush, and you start from the front and you brush all the way to the back, and you do that 50 times as well. So you do this each night before you go to bed. This will not only help to create more volume, but it will also increase the growth, and it will also prevent white hair too. And it can also make you fall asleep. You have to go from the top all the way to the bottom of the head as well. Just from my personal experience, I feel like that my hair is a direct indication of my overall health. When my hair is nice and healthy and shiny, it also indicates that my body is healthy as well. I try to wash my hair every second or third day, just so that you're allowing your scalp to produce natural oils, and when you're brushing it, you're transporting the natural oils from the root of the hair to the ends, and therefore it's kind of nourishing the hair at the same time, because the best nourishment for your hair comes out of your scalp, which is why it's growing. So it's just all about going back to basics, and all about going back to natural things, and I think that's very, very important. If you have any questions about anything, leave your comments below. Otherwise, I will see you in my next video. Thanks, bye.